Welcome to Takeover, the most underrated sports debate show on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe for that weekly sports content. Is this new merch? No. Is this what is this?
Yeah, would you like to tell us about the wonderful shirts that we are rocking on our very wonderful bodies?
All right, so what's up, Takeover? So obviously for months and months I have been saying that Takeover has something cooking, and obviously when you look at what we have on today, we have new merch that is available right now. The link is in the description. You can go get you some drip now. It is by your girl, J Nation Creations. The design made by me, tie-dye personally made by me. So please go and pick up a shirt, cop the drip, and we appreciate y'all support.
And I don't want to hear it just because you like to wear black all the time. A lot of guys like to wear black. All y'all wearing is black. Y'all wearing one color. All right? Mix it up. Who can really dress out here? Okay? Because all y'all wearing black all the time. There's different ways to style this.
Listen,
all right?
If I can make it work, you can make it work, okay?
You better
always
go
remember
ask.
that.
On the site, Josh in the pics, you better go look.
Indeed. Can you really dress if you only wear black? But before we get started with the show, I also want to tell you guys that you can get a free T-shirt. Basically, all you have to do is be following the Takeover official IG, and you have to be subscribed to this channel that you're watching right now, and you have to leave a comment under this video that you're watching right now. 3 easy steps. You can get a free T-shirt. Go do it now.
Quite simple.
What's your name?
I do not know what my name is. I think that they all know that my name is Josh, but I'm not sure yet.
What's yours?
My name is Deandra.
It's your boy Cam, and this is Takeover.
We play it all in night. Yeah, need it all in advance. The opposition know we're ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind all the muscle, pull up. Parker right on the grass. We coming in, take over everything, run it up. Nothing holding me back. 3 in the wood, rushing.
All right, starting off, first topic of the day. We're recording on Thursday. That means Friday, Saturday. 3 days away, Super Bowl 56, the Christmas of football fans. Coming up, unless you are college football, unless you follow that religion, that's different. Anyway, we have Super Bowl 56, Los Angeles Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got?
You went first last time.
Oh, I think it comes to no surprise to anybody that I'm going to pick the Bengals to win the game. The Rams are the better team, and the Rams are going to be at home, so they have the advantage. But if we're going by record, I distinctively remember the Cincinnati Bengals beating the 2 best teams in the AFC, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice, once in Arrowhead, something that teams for 2 or 3 years could not do. And it's going to come down to me, the offensive line of Cincinnati. We know how they are. They aren't great, specifically on the right side, but we've also talked about how good this offense is with Cincinnati. We've seen Joe Burrow get sacked 9 times, and it really didn't matter. And if you put them on a 3rd and long situations, they can make up the loss for yardage that they got on the very next down. I believe that the matchup with Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase is going to be something to look at, because we know that Joe Burrow likes to target Jamar Chase a lot. And I think these secondary receivers on Cincinnati are going to have to step up as well. T. Higgins and Boyd, they're going to have to step up and have a big game, because Jalen Ramsey is going to be on Jamar Chase. I also think that's going to come down to who is going to take care of the ball more. We know Matthew Stafford is known for making a lot of mistakes, and we also know that the Cincinnati Bengals defense are liable to allow teams to make big plays on them. But to give them credit, they have been playing really good as the playoffs progress. And I think in this situation, the Bengals really have nothing to lose. When you look at the journey that they took to get here, they beat the Raiders, they beat the Titans, and they beat Kansas City when no one really had them to win those games. And I believe in the coaching staff as well. I don't think you have to have a good coaching staff in order to get to the Super Bowl. And with all of those weapons that Matthew Stafford has on both sides, I think you have to be confident and believe that you can go in this game and win. And no other quarterback really exudes confidence like Joe Burrow. So I'm going to pick the Bengals to win.
One thing that I find so weird when I look at ESPN, some of even your guys' takes, is how some people are just disregarding this Rams team. You look at the Bengals' last 2 opponents. The Tennessee Titans are good at running. They have a good front four, but they couldn't really pass the ball. There was a weakness there. You look at what they did with Kansas City. Kansas City, great offensive team, shaky defense. what's the real weakness on the Los Angeles Rams? Because I necessarily can't find one. You look at how they attacked Joe Burrow in the Tennessee game. Jeffrey Simmons and Nico Audrey sacked him 9 times. What exactly do you think Aaron Donald and Von Miller, Leonard Floyd are going to do when they see him versus the offensive line? There are certain sets where you have Aaron Donald and Von Miller on one side of the defense. I think that's going to really stress that Cincinnati Bengals defense out. You brought up one matchup between Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase. I think that's going to be a cool matchup to see, but I don't think we might see a lot of it. It's going to have to be short intermediate passes. Is he really going to have time to shake Jalen when you have Aaron Donald on your back all the time? And I know he escaped Chandler Jones, but if Aaron Donald puts his hand around any man, I promise you he's eating the turf. I know Joe Burrow is a magician back there, but if Aaron Donald puts his hands on him, I don't know what he's gonna do. And you look at the Rams' offense as well. Who exactly is Eli Apple going to guard on the Rams team? Eli Apple's a holding machine. He hugs and toes everyone, and he was talking smack to Tyreek Hill last week. But if you watch the first half of the game, Tyreek Hill was torching Eli Apple. And I think Odell Beckham Jr. is going to do the exact same thing. And you look at what Cooper Kupp can do. I mean, he's arguably the best receiver in the game right now, and he's the best route runner as well. And you look at the Rams as a totality. They're a team who's been here before. They have vets. They know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. Sean McVay is saying, you only gave up 13 points last time, and you lost. You played the GOAT last time, and you lost. We were supposed to win it last time, you lost. You may never get here again. And that's what's going through all the vets' minds. Von Miller has done it before. He's won the Super Bowl. They have the veteran experience, and they have something to prove here. And maybe that adds a little pressure, but I mean, the pressure should have been off when you beat Tom Brady. You beat the GOAT. And then you went and beat your Achilles heel when you haven't beat the 49ers 6 straight times, and you beat them when it mattered. You look at Matt Stafford. He's been told that he hasn't been that guy since he was playing in Detroit. He showed you he was that guy when he beat Tom Brady and he won that game he did. Odell has been talked about like he's not a top 10 receiver anymore. He has something to prove. These guys are going to prove it, and this is the biggest stage for them to do it, and I think they will, because I think the Rams are going to win the game.
I agree with so much of what you just said, Cam. On paper, the Rams are by far the better team, and I think that Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Von Miller right now are staying up at night just dreaming about what they can do, because this offensive line on Cincinnati has been bad for a very long time, and it's a danger to Joe Burrow's health, and I think that we should report Cincinnati for an unsafe working environment for Joe Burrow. But either way, and I'm also with you on the whole Eli Apple thing, because there is no way on God's green earth that Eli Apple would be able to guard Van Jefferson, let alone Odell Beckham Jr. When you look at the teams, I think that, like I said, on paper, the Rams are a much better team. They have the advantage where it matters, O-line, D-line. I think that their secondaries are kind of a push. I think Cincinnati has more depth, but I also think that LA has by far the better player in Jalen Ramsey, and I think Darius Williams is someone to not sleep on. But with all that being said, all those great attributes the Rams have, they don't have one thing, and I think it's the turning point in this game. They do not have Joe Shiesty. And because of Joe Shiesty and because of the magic that he has produced so far in this playoff run, from beating the number 1 seed in the Tennessee Titans, from coming back from down 21-3 in Arrowhead at halftime, I just think they're a team of destiny. I think that the football gods have anointed them with the sacred oils of the heavens, and I think that Cincinnati is about to cause bedlam in the city, because Cincinnati hasn't had something like this in years. And I think that the Rams are just going to be face-to-face with greatness, and I don't think that they're going to come out on the other side.
We'll see, man. I think it's so hard to get back to the Super Bowl. That has to weigh in. That has to weigh in if you're a football player. You getting a second chance is so hard.
I know, but
I think it's hard. I think it's hard.
A lot of these guys, especially on the Rams, they haven't had that. This isn't their second chance.
But Von Miller and Aaron Donald definitely saying that in the locker room. It's hard to get.
Oh, yeah, they'll be good, but it's just they know what it takes to get here. Joe has the advantage of he doesn't know. He's flying by the seat of his pants right now, and sometimes if you don't know what you don't know, and that's actually an advantage.
Okay.
If you don't know that you're not supposed to be there, it gives you confidence. All the old heads know what I'm talking about.
I hope someone clarify what Josh just said in the comment section. Please clarify it, because he lost me when he said that.
It's a 400 IQ take.
All right, so it is now official. It's been speculation, but now it is official that James Harden has been traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, and Ben Simmons, along with Seth Curry, has been traded to the Brooklyn Nets. And Andre Drummond, thank you. So
2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks, thank you.
There you go.
All right, so I want to hear you guys' take on this. What are you guys' thoughts?
It's a very bold step for both teams, and I think that's fascinating to me because both teams kind of, in their minds, had a sunk asset on their roster. More so in Philly's case. I think Brooklyn, they didn't think that James Harden was a sunk asset until a day ago when there were reports coming out that he was, quote, screaming in every way possible that he wanted to get out. And apparently, from what I've seen, it looks like him and Kyrie were butting heads a little bit behind the scenes. I don't know what that was about. But I think that they both kind of looked at players that didn't necessarily want to be in town anymore, and they got the best deal that they could for them. Because in the end, nobody else on these trade markets were worth either of these guys. If the Philly had moved Ben Simmons to any other team other than Brooklyn for James Harden, they would have been taking back a significantly worse player while also having to then deal with bringing back all the picks and the team having to part with those. But on both sides, I think both teams arguably get better. I think the biggest winner is Philly because anytime you add a player like James Harden, while his numbers have been slightly declined, this year he's still averaging 10 assists. I think putting him on a team with Joel Embiid is actually going to help both of them because it lessens the load on both players. So now James doesn't necessarily, he can spoon feed a lot of post-ups and rolls to Embiid, and Embiid doesn't have to, carry the entire offense on his shoulders. And on top of that, the biggest win is the Nets getting Seth Curry because Seth Curry is still, to this day, the most underrated player to me in the NBA. The value that man brings off the ball as a sniper is incredible. He's been shooting above 40% from 3 for the past 4 or 5 years. And putting him on a Nets team that already has Kyrie Irving, that already has KD, that already has Joe Harris is going to be an incredible problem to deal with for opposing defenses. So I think the biggest winner is Philly because arguably they added the better player. But I think Brooklyn comes out really good here too because they added a great defender as well as a great shooter.
James Harden and Joel Embiid have the potential to be the current Shaq and Penny with their skill sets. They could be that good. I would go as far as saying the Philadelphia 76ers have the best starting 5 in the NBA. You look at where they could possibly be. You got Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. You all have I would arguably say James Harden is a top 7 player, as in he would be 7 right now, and I would say that Joel Embiid is a top 5 player right now. So they have 2 top 7 players. And you look at Joel Embiid over the past 2 week span, I'd argue he's been the best player in the league. You look at what he's averaging 29, 11, and 4. But the Nets won this trade because if you look at what the depth, I feel like he gave them a little. Daryl Morey gave the Nets a little too much because you look at what the Nets have now. There's a possible starting lineup of Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge, Kyrie Irving, and Andre Drummond. But the bench is where it continually gets wild. Hold on, wait a second. That wasn't a permanent top 5. So just relax. The bench is where it gets scary. You have Cam Thomas, Seth Curry, Patty Mills, Joe Harris, Nicholas Claxton, Blake Griffin, and Bruce Brown. Maybe all on the bench. Those are guys who can play defense. Those are guys who can shoot the lights out of the ball. And you have 2 first-round picks after that. And they can go there. This is a team that could probably go 10 deep in the playoffs because their young guys can shoot. They play defense and they want it too. So I think the Nets won this trade. And I'm not calling them the Nets anymore. I'm calling them Pop the Trunk because they got all shooters.
I think it's funny that you said they have shooters, and yet in their starting 5, you named 2 guys who don't shoot outside the paint. But either way,
but I just named you the bench too.
The bench has shooters.
Seth Curry,
but I'm saying,
Cam Thomas, Patty Mills.
If you're going to tell me that the team has shooters, and then you give me a starting lineup with 2 guys that don't venture 5 feet.
Kevin Durant counts as 2 shooters.
I don't know. Andre Drummond counts as Ben Simmons counts as -2. So him does.
Counts as 2.
Okay. So I'm gonna start off with the Nets. I think it's very unfortunate that we never really got to see that team really come to flourish. They only played 16 games together in total,
give or take.
And we never really got to see the team be fully healthy. But I think it's good that the Nets got something out of this because they gave up a lot for James Harden, so you had to get back something valuable. And I think Ben Simmons can definitely be a good part of the Nets, but it depends on his mindset as well. But Rich Paul did say that he's eager to join the Nets and that he's ready to ramp up for a return. And he did say, and I quote, "We've got work to do." to get him back to play, but it's a great step in the right direction. So that's a good thing to know. I believe that Ben Simmons can flourish there too, because it's a totally different environment. Playing in Philly, their fans are completely crazy. Like you're gonna get booed every night in Philadelphia, and they hold you accountable. And it's not as serious as in Brooklyn. And I think it's kind of like in this situation, he could potentially be like a Draymond caliber type player where all of the shooters around him. When you think about Joe Harris is going to come back, Kevin Durant, Seth Curry, and basically everything that you guys said. So I think that is good for the Nets. Moving on to the 76ers, I believe that Joel Embiid and James Harden as a combo is a great combination. I'm going to say that again. I believe that Joel Embiid and James Harden are a great combination. James Harden has never really had a big like Joel Embiid, and the pick and roll has the potential to be the best in the NBA. But I'm going to say one thing, and this is a concern. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm just saying to me it's something to think about. The way that Joel Embiid is playing as of right now, like he's playing like a guard. He even said himself in an interview, he said that I can either be Kobe or I can be Shaq some nights. So with the way that he's playing like a guard, bringing up the ball, going on fast breaks and things, James Harden being there can definitely take the load off. But we know that James Harden plays at his best when he has the ball too. And one of the issues that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid came across was that they kind of got in the way of each other. So I hope that there isn't a case where there's a rift or issue there, especially with James Harden going to the team with the 76ers with Daryl Morey, and you know that history. So hopefully there's no rift or issue there, but other than that, I think it's a good move. Whenever you have a chance to get a superstar player that brings that superstar value, you should definitely go and get them.
If Joel Embiid knew he could throw Ben Simmons away and get James Harden back, pretty sure he would have did 3 years ago.
I'm pretty sure.
They would have gotten out of the second round. Anyway, I do think that that's a fair point.
In the second round?
I said to get out of the second round.
Oh, okay, for sure. Yeah.
Because they haven't gotten out of the second round yet. Because somebody pushed him that way. Anyway, it's going to be something. It's going to be something to focus on because I think both sides now kind of have a slightly volatile situation, although they were already volatile to begin with. Because James Harden has forced his way out of 2 situations now, and Joel Embiid has shown, and Doc Rivers as well. He's shown that they don't really put up with a lot of BS. Same thing in Philly or in Brooklyn with you got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and now Ben Simmons. That's 3 relatively moody people all sharing a locker room, and there's only one ball. But in the end, it's the NBA. Talent wins out. And brief sidebar. How stacked is the East right now?
It's lit.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Better than the West?
No, because the 2 best teams in the NBA are in the West.
Yes, but then the next 8 are in the East.
I think it's just a race to whoever loses to the Western Conference team, personally. But that's a different episode. That is going to wrap up our show. Guys, do you have anything to say?
Shout out Atlanta Braves, going on 4 months, defending World Series champions, and as long as Cloud Manfred keeps his job as MLB commissioner, we probably won't have to worry about anybody else coming for the crown because he doesn't want to see the boys play.
Make sure to cop the drip. Link in the description. Remember, you can get a free shirt. Follow the IG, subscribe to the channel, and comment on this video. Go get you a free drip.
Stop wearing it all black, man. Put some color in your life. Black History Month. Alright? Takeover out.
Hey, champ. Yeah. We play it all tonight. Yeah. Need it all in advance. The opposition know we're ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind out the muscle, pull up. Parker right on the grass. We coming in, take over everything, run it up. Not that holding me back. 3 in the wood. Rushing. I don't like Dutch, don't even matter, you know I'm facing. When I roll a paper, I like to go double. Run up a check, flip a W, make it an M. I need